Welcome, Dragon's Tome, issue 118 for February 1987. We're going through every episode of Dragon Magazine, one issue at a time. My name's Rob.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Chopper.
We're here to talk about this one. It's a obviously we know who the cover is. It's by Denis Beauvais, our Canadian friend. It's another of his chess pieces. It's called The Draw. It's a white wizard versus a black wizard.
Or a white king versus a black king.
Yeah. And he modeled the Black King after himself. So that's what Denis Beauvais looks like, theoretically.
It looks like Ming the Merciless.
A little bit.
If Ming the Merciless and the Master made Sweet Sweet Love, that would be their prodigy.
I could see the Master.
What was Ming's daughter's name again?
Oh, Ursula?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I almost said Ardala, but I said no, that's Buck Rogers.
That's Buck Rogers.
Yeah,
the poor pawn got an arrow in his knee.
Well, the castle got bombarded,
ruined.
catapulted.
And it's the two kings facing off on a round chessboard with some neat perspective stuff going on.
Yeah, looks good. I mean, Dennis, all his chess ones have always looked great.
The king's hat is the top of the king in the game. Classic.
And just the ones we've seen, like there must be a whole series that he did, and who knows what else is out there.
I do see that his signature says it's 1984 he did this one, so this has been in the can for 3 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
they're probably like, we don't want that many chess ones back to back, so they saved this one. Fun times. Okay, let's get to ads then. If nobody else anything to say about Beauvais.
Whoa, we're doing ads first.
Oh, sorry.
Let's
we're gonna mix it up.
I got stuff to do.
We'll go to the ads and then we'll go to the articles. Okay, articles. Well, it's because I have very few articles, so I think that's why I just skipped ads. So.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of articles either.
So
that's good because we're supposed to have two. So
I don't have
two.
Two
is more than two, and a lot is way more than two. So
Jack,
both of you are in the right to be.
We're going to start with you then, Jack, since you're so know-it-all.
I am a know-it-all. I know that we should go to the PDF 32.
32?
32.
Day at the Fair.
Day at the Fair.
Oh, I should mention that the special attraction in this one is competition in tournaments. So.
Yep.
Yes, very heavy in the gladiatorial, anything entertainment based in the fantasy realm.
Is this the jousting one?
No, this is A Day in Life in the Fair.
This is by Aileen Lucas.
Is that George Lucas's wife?
Too bad about the divorce then.
Exactly.
He did scrub her from all of history. I would say what I called this was the all you need making of a good one shot, and it is what goes on. It's a map of and what goes on at a Renaissance type fair.
Yeah,
Ren Fair.
Not the Ren Fair of today, but the fairs of yesteryear. It's got all the seeds of the people that would be there, like just a random with stats and everything, the people that would just happen to be there and what their motivations may or may not be, and followed up with a couple of, hey, this could happen, little adventures. And in my mind, this is all you would need for a very pleasant afternoon one shot to that you could call a day at the fair.
Cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Pat, did this remind you of your Ren Fair days?
No, because it was a little more hectic and
lot less turkey legs.
Yeah, no, more turkey legs. This would be a lot less turkey legs.
That's what I meant. This one is less turkey legs.
The Ren Fair, if nowadays would be this peddler stall is where the bulk of the Ren Fair would be, and occasionally you would walk over here to the jousting grounds / fighting area.
Now, how did you eat their turkey legs while you were stuck in those stocks and people were kicking you in your bum and throwing tomatoes at your face?
I have super long fingers.
Oh, Okay, well, let's keep it PG here. Let's
Oh, I'm in charge of this. I should be
Yeah.
saying. Let's move on.
yeah, and you better start taking charge. Things are getting
Yeah.
already a little
Patrick,
hoc.
what's your article?
Let's continue with the theme, and let's go to page 10.
Fighting Circle Gladiatorial
Fighting
Combat.
Circle. Yeah, so this article is fairly long, and I just don't know how to take it. I mean, the author states there are 3 different settings for gladiatorial fighting. There's the Roman style, a medieval style, which is like Roman style but with updated weapons, and then there was quote unquote Oriental style. And he states that you shouldn't mix these for reasons that I don't find compelling. I feel like you can do any kind of style,
especially in fantasy,
at any time. Yeah, in the fantasy settings.
Yeah, if it fits your setting, the world you've built, use it. I would.
Yeah. And then another thing I didn't like too is he also brought in alignment here, saying how certain lawful characters wouldn't fight in a gladiatorial kind of type game.
Well, I don't think usually the people fighting in gladiatorial type games have a choice.
or are pretty lawful good in that sense. So
They're
he
kind of
outlines
thrown into it.
Yeah, he outlines a combat system, which I find is kind of redundant because I feel like regular combat would just prevail.
Yeah.
You can couple it with blunt damage if you need to, if you're punching and stuff. There's no need to rewrite the book for fighting.
No, there's rules for subduing dragons. You could make a rule for submitting people with
I'm sure
weapons.
I'm sure it's in the GMG.
Yeah. Plus, we have a lot at this point. There's 2 or 3 articles that I remember we read about subduing damage that you could be using.
Yeah.
He also outlines that a medieval gladiatorial event would be the same as. Oh, it's the same as I said that already. But the Oriental one is a gladiatorial game more based around honor. So you're fighting for your honor, which again, isn't that what knight jousting and knight fighting was in medieval times? So it's a lot. My last sentence says it's a lot of minutia for combat games, basically.
Yeah,
and none of it gels correctly. So
once again, I think in 2nd edition they had a gladiatorial blue book, didn't they?
I think so.
I think they did.
I'd have to go back again. It's been such a long time since I looked.
There's so many of those books I didn't even know existed. There's like 30 of them or something.
So I mean, this article was very long, had some good ideas, but for the most part, it was just a lot of
fluff.
Trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Distilled down, this is a good example of what you could do in your game should your characters, get caught stealing, or prisoners of some sort, or willingly want to compete.
Or your king decides, let's have teams form, and the winner of the teams will win. Almost a la the new D&D movie,
Yeah. There's enough in here that you could talk the talk about training, and you're part of this training school and a lot of stuff like that. But as it stands at the article, I didn't think I had much use from at least a full page of the information.
No, I mean, for the amount of rules or the amount of pages that were here, it was just a lot of it was a lot of me just going, no, I wouldn't use that. Unnecessary. As I was in the combat system, I'm like, why am I this? You could use the D&D system and it'd be just fine. There's nothing. So
yeah, it's multiple pages, and it's even broken up into 2 sections, and
it's 3 because it has a medieval section and an Oriental section.
But I'm talking about the section of the article itself. The article is multiple pages long.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's actually, and again, but
all right. Well, that's it for me.
Yeah. My first article, we're going to go to page 61, I believe.
61.
A Hero's Reward, a hero point system for AD&D games.
Ugh, I avoided this because of my trauma from hero system.
No, that's not what this means. This is all about pretty much, they call them bennies now, or benefits, or advantage. Jack has it in his game too, where you get points where you can affect the game, like by re-rolls or whatever. But
I read that and I went immediately to hero system.
But it's got nothing to do with that.
I know. I didn't read it because
yeah,
PTSD'd away.
This is a very modern thing, is to have these point systems that. So it's for pretty much you're rewarding good role playing with benefits to help you later on, or it's a little advantages here and there, and yeah, I just thought it was interesting that Leonard Carpenter invented it in '87 or something. I wonder if any games were doing this at the time, but this is definitely a modern thing. That's a lot of games. I'm not sure if it's in 5e, but it's definitely in things like Trail of Cthulhu and all those kind of games.
Yeah,
and Jack's game.
Yeah, this one's different in that it's supposed to give you the ability, like it says, you're in charge of so much of your character, and then you roll the dice, and it's so random. And this, back when this was in D&D, AD&D, it was far less than it is now. Like there's so many modifiers now, it kind of coaches that a little bit. But his theory was there's so many wild swings where it's the pinnacle of what you want to accomplish. You roll a die and you flub. This is a way of saying, no, I'm a hero. I should be able to have a little bit to be able to mitigate that a little bit. And it's not a bad theory. It really, where the game was at the time, it's not a bad.
Yeah, like
system.
I say, it's a lot of games use it now for that reason. Is they feel like you want to feel like you're not just some schlup. You want to feel like you don't screw up all the time. You want to use and I like it's a reward system. So it's like instead, you get experience, but that just helps you level up. But this is like, oh, I did good role playing. So, hey, that was a really good thing. Here's a benefit. The
story works if I succeed here, because this is the culmination. Mm-hmm. It would be funny and everyone would, I could be a laughing stock if I fail this, but the story, I should.
Yeah. For story reasons. Yeah.
Everything. So I will use my hero points to do. I think what he says is add the modifier.
Yeah. And it's all different. Yeah. It's all different ones for magic and hitch fighting. And yeah, I think it's a neat little system that is ahead of its time. That's what I thought was cool about it.
I agree.
We're back to Jack, I believe.
Me already?
I think so.
We're gonna have to pad this one out. This is the way this show's supposed to go.
Yeah, this could be a short one because we don't have much to talk about here.
I had a hard time with this article.
There's a lot of articles, but there's not much to talk about them. There's a lot of just okay.
But I enjoyed this magazine. I read it and enjoyed it. It was. But if we could go to PDF page 64, please.
Oh, right here. I'll just scroll down.
A couple pages down.
Stone Age.
Of the Stone Age. Now, last week we had mentioned sea elves, and we said, you know what? You can tell there's been a change of management. This is going to take that and turn it up to 11. This is to turn Neanderthals from the D&D game into playable characters that are more reminiscent of our ancient ancestors. Well, Rob's ancient ancestor. Let's be honest. He starts off by saying, "Hey, in the game, Neanderthals were this, and it, had ape pets and did this and stuff." And he said, "Yeah, that's great for the fantasy caveman, and there's a place for a fantasy caveman. You want to have." There's plenty of movies where they lean heavy into fantasy cavemen. There's a place for it. But then he says, okay, this is what real Neanderthals were like, and this is what they would be in the game. And then he just goes for it. He makes a Neanderthal PC playing character race.
For D&D, not even AD&D. This is basic D&D.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Gary Gygax is rolling in his grave.
He was still alive at this point. Actually, he was probably rolling in cocaine at this point. But this is post-cocaine, I think, actually.
Yes.
It's definitely post-cocaine.
He was rolling in his piles of money that he got probably to go away, but also as of today, he is rolling in his grave, knowing that there are in D&D Neanderthal playing characters. And honestly, you could think of 100 different ways you could do it. A quest for fire situation, you could make a game.
The underground lost civilization.
Yeah. There's so many dinosaurs. Why wouldn't you have? Because we all know
they never met.
Men and dinosaurs met in real life, so why wouldn't they in your fantasy?
Well, the Earth's only 5,000 years old, so.
And honestly, if you haven't really thought about it, and just thought about it, even for a minute, yes, humans did ride dinosaurs. That's just science.
I watched Dino Riders, the documentary, so I know.
Yes. Okay, let's. Hopefully, people at home are not thinking for 1 second we think that the
Jack, I like you have to like just in case our sarcasm didn't come through there.
Because I don't read the comments, but I don't want to start those comments for poor Rob, who has to probably search through dozens and dozens of hate filled things. Just
I will say we don't have hate. We get a lot of nice comments.
Well, we did get one from one of the authors that we made fun of.
Oh, that's right.
That was our hate mail, but I think we smoothed it over.
I think so too.
I told him we assumed he was dead.
Is that why I'm not allowed in the?
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
I am not allowed to.
Yeah, he's been banned from YouTube
because these two know what I would be up to, and it would be.
Yeah, it'd be shameful.
There would be no smoothing over.
It's true.
Anywho,
anything else about cavemen?
Playable D&D race cavemen, and no one's batting an eye.
Neanderthals, technically, but
yes. Okay, well, back to cavemen is the joking name I was saying when we were talking about riding dinosaurs. Neanderthals.
Yeah, take your flint blade and get out of here. Pat, what's your next one?
Page 24.
Surely you joust. Oh, great.
Joust. And continuing with the medieval fairs, jousting rules for AD&D. I feel like this set of rules was way more needed than the gladiatorial set of rules. In AD&D, I don't think there was a lot for jousting, and in this you get a basic outline that you can shape your tournament around. There's
jousting isn't just combat; it's a very specific thing. So it's not just hey, I'm going into a gladiator and fighting. This is very specific.
It talks about the charge. It talks about the kind of horses you could use.
The skill.
There's even a saving throw if you get unhorsed, because you do fall, and falling off a horse is not like falling off.
You can kill yourself pretty easily.
An ottoman.
Well, let's just say Christopher Reeves knows what happens.
Exactly. And he wasn't even jousting. He was
just riding it.
He was equestriating.
Imagine getting hit with a spear and falling off a horse.
Yeah. If I thought for a second Christopher Reeve was going to be mentioned in an episode of Dragon's Tome, I didn't. I would hope that it wasn't going to be in this context.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
So I don't have much to say about this other than it was just a good set of rules. And if you were looking to put jousting into a one-shot, I don't have anything else to do for you guys this week. Let's have a medieval fair.
I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight Scud the Invincible, though.
Yeah.
Because there could be instances where you're pretending to be Lord something, and they start pushing you. Hey, remember you're up next. You're in the joust. And you're like,
or you might be playing a cavalier or a paladin who might be in this situation. So
you want to, anyone out there want to fight? Yeah, I do.
And there just isn't a lot in any of the rule books on jousting. So
no. Yeah.
This is a good little thumbnail to have.
Cool. I wonder if in the Castle book there was stuff like this in there.
There might be. I think that's around the same time when
that was second.
Stopped playing second edition. Yeah.
Okay. Who is that? It's back to me, right? Yeah. My only other one is because I had nothing else. We're gonna go into page 101. We're in the Dragon Mirth here.
We're now in the comics.
So there's some funny ones. Like the first one, the guy, if you're such a master thief, why are you locked up in here? And there's nobody in the thing because he escaped already. Pretty funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
The next one, hilarious. Hit dice. It's a mace made out of dice. Come on, hit dice. Get it? It's a pun. It's a visual pun. My favorite type of pun. Yeah. There's some other bad ones, but something he ate. Classic dragon one. Is it someone he ate? That's like, I'm amazed that joke hasn't been made already in this magazine.
Yeah.
Probably has.
Yeah.
But yeah. And that same person who was racist in the last magazine has a dragon who is roasting marshmallows in his teeth.
No.
So, who knows?
I like the art style that he has. He's got a really
very almost what's it called? Spray paint, graffiti, almost graffiti style.
like a stylized graffiti type. Yeah.
Maybe it's Banksy.
A young Banksy.
Banksy is drawn Dragon Mirth.
Could be. Yeah. Anyways,
all right.
Back to Jack. Jack, do you have any more articles?
Yes, we can exit through the gift shop to. Oh wait, I already did two.
Oh,
so no,
I thought he had another one. I was gonna yell at him. Pat, do you have another article?
I got my last article.
Okay, good.
We're going to page 66.
66.
The Dragon's Beastery.
I don't like that picture. It freaks me out.
All I wrote on this was a whole bunch of spiders.
Yeah, it's they must have had a lot of once again, these are all user submitted, so they must have just had a lot of people send in spiders, and they're like, we'll put them all together.
Dr. Greenwood put a couple in.
Yep,
the
Jeff
Phoenix
MacArthur.
spider. I do like the Phoenix spider. It's a spider created by a powerful being from the element of plane of fire and Loth.
I thought you were going to say, because it's created by K.L. Campbell, so I thought you were going to say it's created by a powerful being called K.L. Campbell.
Yeah, he also makes soups.
Oh,
or she.
Yeah.
Or she.
Yeah, you're right.
They also made soups.
So if you're looking for spiders, here you go. I mean,
I don't like it.
I like the idea of just having a set of different spiders than just a generic spider.
Yeah, it's always good to you run across a spider. Well, I got a bunch of here. Let me just
do I need to use any of them? Probably not, but
yeah, it's for variety's sake. And once again, players would be like, "Oh, it's just a spider." Well, not necessarily.
Yeah. Well, if we go back to last week's article, we talked about the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a way to change that up a bit.
You start describing a spider, and they go, "Okay, it's a giant spider from the book." Oh yeah, I know what it's saying.
It's just a giant spider. Wait, a giant spider doesn't shoot fire.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
because it's a phoenix spider.
Yeah.
I want a spider cat. Is he like Spider-Man, but he's a cat?
It says they're creations of mad wizards, millennial dead.
That would be pretty mad.
Eating anything smaller than they are, and they're 10 feet long.
They have a feline head, golden furred body, a lion-like clawed feet, and large sharpened mandibles, but they have a thorax and an abdomen of a tarantula.
There was a bolo spider in here too, I think, where it lost its ability to spin webs, but now it captures by prey by spinning a sticky globule attached to a silk line from its legs, like a bolo.
Reminds me of Jack's wedding night. Ew. I don't know where that came from.
That's how he got his wife, with a bolo. Quit running.
Well, it wasn't a bolo from there. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, the spiders. Back to me. I have nothing else. So we're gonna go to ads, Jack.
Okay.
We're zooming through this one.
The ads.
I hope we have a lot of talk about these ads.
Well, I do have an honorable mention if if we have time.
I got three.
Our honorable mention, Jack, please.
Oh, PDF page 70.
70.
We're real close.
No, this is an ad. This is an honorable mention article that Jack. It's not another article.
Oh.
The game wizards Who Dies by Zeb Cook, and it is he's going to be writing the second edition of AD&D, and he's kind of going through his thought process on what classes aren't going to make the cut and why, in his opinion. And it's literally just a stream of consciousness on what he thinks about all the different classes and how he's going to deal with them in the second edition. And you know what, between you and I, we know what happened and what makes it and what doesn't. It was just an interesting look into his thought process going into what must be a huge undertaking with all the source material that there is on what direction they're going to go with classes and subclasses.
Yes, I didn't even see this one. Otherwise, I would have talked about this for sure. But yeah, he's saying the assassin is a goner, as well as monk and bard.
He said there's no amount of pushback would bring the assassin back, because he was like, they're very popular, but we can't have them. And but then he goes on about how for some reason, and he doesn't understand it, why druids are so popular, and he can't touch them because there would be an outcry, even though he says they're just a cleric who worships a different deity.
Well, and he says barbarians, cavaliers, paladins, and rangers have special problems. Like, he wants to get rid of rangers and paladins?
I think at some point in a certain way, he gets his way, because they go ahead and greenlight the handbooks, which basically
separate everything out.
Subclass the druids into a cleric handbook. So.
Oh yeah, he gets his way for sure, and that's what's interesting is what his thoughts were, and he doesn't pull any punches, like Rob just said. Barbarians, they're brand new in the context of the timeline and where we are, and when the Unearthed Arcana came out
and broken,
and he doesn't say, "Oh well, we're still." He just says, "Okay, barbarians, cavaliers, they got big problems. Like there's no filter on this guy. He's saying what he's thinking."
Well, he's also saying, like, pretty much those are all subclasses of fighters, right? You can make a fighter, because there's going to be a proficiency, so you can make a ranger out of a normal fighter, or a paladin, or like a lot of these you can kind of make out of a normal character or a normal fighter. So
they just came, like they just arrived on the scene, and this guy's saying, "Now put him back in the box."
Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong. The cavalier and the barbarian.
Well, cavalier and paladin are very similar, and fight, like a cavalier can be a fighter, like easy. It's just a fighter on a horse, really.
Yeah.
Barbarians are just fighters who like to use clubs, like it's not that much difference, because I understand it. But that's not D&D really. The having such special abilities, that's the problem with 5e, I think, or in later editions of, especially 3.5, I think, which turns into Pathfinder. Everybody has so many special abilities and so many things that it takes the uniqueness out of every character.
Proficiencies and skill classes and everything. It's just
it no longer you. I can see how it's fun to min-max once again and make exactly what you want, but it takes away the kind of the specialness of a character class. It's not specifically an archetype anymore. Now it's just whatever you want it to be.
So, every turn has
that's just
multiple actions that everyone's doing, and it's doing things that are almost magical.
Yeah. Well, I think 5e kind of pulled back on that. It's not as bad as 3.5, which is the worst.
Still, 5e's
3.5 was way worse.
3.5 is pretty bad.
Yeah. So, but that's a whole other animal. This is just his thoughts, because. But
that's kind of what he's seeing the future of what it's going to turn into, and he's trying to kind of whittle it down, right? Where
all the source material he has to work with to try and this is just his thoughts on classes.
And I don't know if he mentions the Oriental Adventure ones, because they don't make it into the second edition. So,
well, he says that there's no need for a European style monk. He says there's definitely a Oriental Adventure style monk that has a place, like that's different. Between the two.
But he says to keep it separate. He says keep Oriental Ventures in Oriental Adventures, not in the player's handbook. So.
Yeah.
Where I think when Gygax was talking about second edition, he said, no, it's all going to be in one book. It's all going to be combined. And I think that Zeb Cook here is like, anti-gygaxing it by saying no, we're going to keep things separate.
Yeah.
And
We got page counts. We can't have a big tome with everything in it.
or things will get shifted, right? And
Yeah.
and what the answer to it is the blue books and the brown books to fill out all those little things if you want to just add them in. Like you want to play Cavalier, well, you buy the Fighter's Handbook and it'll have all these subclasses in it, or you want to play Assassin, it's in the Thief's Handbook or whatever. It's like it's all in there.
And I liked playing gnome assassins or gnome thieves, so I had the gnome book and the thief book.
Yeah, I don't remember which books I had. I definitely had the Weapons and Arms because that was great. It had all the different weapons in it. I love that book. Anyways, we'll get to that eventually, I'm sure. They'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that little addition, Jack. I'm glad you brought it up because I missed this one. So.
Ooh, well,
I think I assumed it said I assumed it was about wizards for some reason because of the name of the article. So I was like, fuck this.
I almost didn't bring it up, but then I was like, you said you were out, and Pat said, oh, there wasn't much in this, and I said, I can't let this.
Yeah, good.
I'm
glad you did.
I can't. Okay.
Yes. You should do that more.
Now, yeah, Jack, you should bring.
Happy birthday, Pat. That was your birthday present.
It's early. It's a little early, but. Patrick, add.
All right, let's go to page dos.
2. You always like the early ones. Citadel. We have
Citadel making dragons.
There's a little.
Are they good? I don't know. But they're nice. But they're nice for the time.
Jack, did you have that green dragon? I seem to remember seeing that somewhere.
I did not know it, but I think you might be thinking of the Mantic dragon.
No,
I think you're thinking of
that head. That head looks very much.
You're thinking of the Kung Fu dragon.
No, he wishes he had the Kung Fu dragon.
The Imperial dragon, whatever that was from early on. No, I don't.
Maybe. But mentioning Citadel Miniatures, I guess we should. At the time of recording, Brian Ansell has passed away, one of the co-founders of Citadel Miniatures. So.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Mr. Ansell. Who
R.I.P. Mr. Ansell.
Pretty much started GW, so it was a big loss to the community. But these are the Citadel actually doing D&D miniatures, which is even the covers on them are the classic covers from the books.
Yeah, well, you got the first edition remake book, I think, and the red one. And what was the green one? The green one was
not Companion. One of the box sets, I think.
And it wasn't Expert. Masters?
Maybe. It was one of those.
Companion. Might have been Companion.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, they've taken the dragon from the covers and brought them to life.
It says Basic and Expert. It says right under here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the actual ones from the covers. Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
Oh, even the poses, Like, that's even the poses are from the covers.
Yes.
Interesting. The red one is a strange pose.
Yeah. Well,
out of context as a miniature,
I think because it's not supposed as it is in the picture.
It is kind of, but I think it's a wrong angle. I think the angle of the
wrong
picture
reversed.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be turned more, just like the green one needs to be turned more.
Yeah.
Whoever put the photos on there has them in reverse to the cover, but they're both the same.
Yeah. But yeah. So Jack, do you have an ad?
I do. If we could go to page 49.
49.
We are talking about roll aids.
Roll aids, yes.
Roll aids again.
Now, the ad is for the Crystal Barrier. It's a adventure for characters 3 to 5, levels 6 to 8. And look at that. That looks like a Franzetta cover.
Yeah, it does.
Like that. That looks. That would be amazing in and of itself. Roll aids is a big thing that probably to this day still exists.
No, I have a little history in roll aids. Do you know what happened to roll aids?
Oh, what happened to roll aids?
When TSR was being crazy and wasting their money, they bought roll aids and they also bought Gygax's company, so his new one. So roll aids the TSR eventually bought roll aids. So yeah. So that's what happened to poor roll aids. It got rolled into TSR, which I think they put out a lot of things under the TSR banner as roll aids still. So that's probably what you remember, Jack.
Oh, okay. Okay, and but if we look down the line here on the side, it's got all their other things. Some of them I would love to see, like there was um, the Clockwork Mage, a whole supplement about a Clockwork Mage. That sounds cool.
Dark folk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the beauty of these. They're all generic role playing stuff that you could just add to any game, which is great.
You plug and play into your into your fantasy setting, and it's you should be able to expand or do whatever you want to it. It's a nice supplement. But last but not least, on the PDF that we have between Lich Lords and Wizards, see that little spot there?
Yes.
That's called a hickey, and that's a small piece of dried ink has stuck to the plate and has created that mark. And the printer should have seen it and removed it from the plate and then continued printing. That's called a hickey.
The real reason why
I was like, wow. Well, thanks for that, Jack. No one wants a hickey.
No, because it'll make a mark on the blanket, which is the positive, the negative side that goes on the paper, and eventually it wears out your blanket if you leave your hickey too long.
Yeah, nobody wants to leave their hickey too long.
No, but that's it.
Okay, page 9 for me, and it's my every time battle text here. I have to mention it, but this one is a great picture of BattleTech, except for look at the little guy poking his head out of the Atlas's eye.
Yeah, it makes the Atlas makes the Atlas look smaller than it really is,
and silly. It looks silly. Why would you do that? The Atlas is supposed to be imposing and scary, and they have a little guy poking his head out.
And giant, because he's supposed to be right next to a locust.
Yeah, is that a locust? I think so. Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, it's an odd choice. The scale of how big battle mechs are is changed a lot. It's in the books and everything that's like wishy-washy about how tall they're supposed to be. So at this point, I guess they were only, 20 feet tall, or not even. It looks even less than that probably with the size of that guy's head. So,
is that a guy poking out? Like, I've got this magnified up to 400 times, and it's so pixelated.
It looks like a guy to me. Looks like a little nose and a mouth and an eye.
Yeah, it looks like a guy to me.
Okay.
It looks like,
especially
it's like the little kid you see in the attic pictures.
It's because it's supposed to be on the other side. You can see it's this blue lens, but
yeah, I was gonna, for the sake of argument, say, well maybe but I cannot justify.
Yeah, it's a great ad with a silly thing. And it says there's no game like it. I think it's fighting against the expect no imitations from the Robotech one. So
yeah.
It's true. It is. It's no game like it because it's a miniatures game. It's not a role playing game. So, Mech Warriors role playing game. Any more ads? Pat, do you have any more?
I have 2 more.
Oh, good. Jack, you have none?
Real quick.
No, I'm done.
Good.
All right, so let's go back to 107.
Oh yeah,
Blood Bowl.
I didn't mention that. I think I meant to mention this. Oh, I did mention it. It was on another page. Yeah, Blood Bowl.
The game that took over for us after we stopped playing the Monsters of Midway. We were like, ooh, this is like Monsters Midway.
Yeah.
You remember Monster Midway, the chit game that came in a Dragon magazine?
Yeah, we got some orc cheerleaders here.
Mm-hmm.
Blood Bowl. Silly American football played in the Warhammer universe.
I have a love-hate of Blood Bowl, so...
Everybody does,
I
think.
I should make a mention of it because it played significantly in my life, so...
Silly game. Makes no sense.
Yeah, so...
In world, it makes no sense.
Should I roll into my last ad then?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, go to the next page, 108.
Space Master. Great.
By Ice.
Yep, it's the same people.
It says it's the best. The cover looks interesting, and if anyone played it, I'd like you to leave a comment and tell me what kind of world they're sitting in is, because it doesn't really... it just shows a spaceship,
all these master games, they have all the roll master games for these.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many of them, but...
so I'm just curious.
Because the cover there's a number we can call, too.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, the cover looks interesting, so I'm just curious about it.
Yeah, there's this whole world of these ice games that I've never played any of them, never really, other than like the ads that you see in Dragon, I'd never heard of them, never seen them in stores even, I don't think. Maybe they're just so generic that you don't notice them, or I wonder if there's a big
I've
setting.
seen some of the ice stuff in stores.
Yeah, but you never obviously never purchased one.
No, but I never saw Space Masters, that's for sure. Ruin Quest, is that their D&D one? That's the one I see the
that's
most.
Chaosium. Rune
What
Quest
is
still
their...
around. It's called
What is their...
Fantasy Master? Roll Master.
Rollmaster, that's the one I see a lot of.
Yeah, that was the original. Well, that's the that robot one is in the same. I don't know if it's the same system. I assume it would be, but Robot Warrior. But yeah, a ton of these ice games that I've kind of interested in. Never heard. If you've played in these, please comment below. How did they play?
If you're interested, Rob, then for season 1, episode 1 of Game Call, you can call this number here and ask.
Yep.
You've got lots of questions.
How's this gameplay? I'm interested.
I'll be surprised that you didn't bring up the Adam Warlock in this magazine.
I could care less about Adam Warlock, and it was a rehash of an article about Adam Warlock already, and it did have Gamora in it, which was funny. It talks about her getting killed. And it was similar. It had the Soulstone involved. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Does anyone really care about Adam Warlock?
I don't think so. Maybe it was like there's probably enough that people like the story, but as a character, I don't think Adam Warlock is popular. Especially he's totally different from when they played him in the movies there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Gamora is funny. I was reading the Gamora one.
I know I have some niche characters that I like, and I don't want to pretend like no one could possibly like Adam Warlock, but I've never met anyone in the wild.
I think it's I think it was Jim Shooter originally wrote him, so he's got some good stories and it was an interesting thing because he's fighting himself from the future who turns evil, the Magus, and all this stuff. So I think there were some good stories, but I think it was very niche. Like it's like remember Alien Legion or all these ones that are like, I think they're good, but nobody ever read them. Like it's one of those ones, I think. Death of Captain Marvel, that was another famous one that's like super popular now, but at the time it was like nobody cared. Retrospectively, Captain Marvel became popular. At the time, nobody cared about Captain Marvel. But yeah, interesting. The Warlock. Any other articles? Anything else you want to talk about this magazine, people? Well, I think we did all right. We fluffed it out a bit. Jack brought a bonus article to save our time, so we actually made some good time in this one. Thank you, Jack. You're the MVP of this episode.
Yay, Jack.
That's the first time anything in the history of this show has been nice said to me, and I don't know what to say about that.
Well, we know you're dying.
If I still had feelings, if they hadn't been crushed out of me long ago, that might actually touch me.
You might have a single tear.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this has been episode 118 of the Dragon Magazine. Thank you for watching. Please comment below. We do like the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you're a wealthy benefactor, we're still looking for investors in our multiple expensive podcasts about traveling around America, finding these old places, and also calling random people. So, yeah.
Also, I'll dress up like Betty Boop and,
Jack, you already have Jack, I told you you're not allowed to promote your OnlyFans on this show.
No, I thought I could slip that one in.
No. You do not go to Jack's Pot on OnlyFans.
Jack's Pot.
I guarantee that is probably an OnlyFans. If you go to Jack's Pot, it's probably already there. So
yeah, that.
And I hope it's like a one that you don't see the guy's face, so it could be Jack.
Could be. No one will know.
Yep. This whole thing, we're pretending it's not him, but it's actually him. Support Jack's Pot. Anyways, I've been Rob.
I'm Jack.
I've been Jobber.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.